All right. Well, I wanted to welcome everyone to our event, which is Pro Tips from Network Marketing Experts. And, you know, our month in September is all about networking, the power of networking. And I think a lot of women do not find their power in networking. They get nervous about networking. But I have to say, during the pandemic, I have, through virtual networking, met all my soul sisters, all my collaborators and partners, the best people that I normally would not meet. And it's because I forced myself to get online versus doing in-person events. I love in-person. I love giving people hugs. I'm one of those. I love seeing people, engaging with them, feeling the energy. But I have to say, this has been a blessing in disguise during the pandemic. So this event and our whole theme in September is to promote some networking opportunities for female entrepreneurs, as well as encourage all of you to find a couple, at least one, if not a couple, networking groups that really you find affinity with and that speak to you, and commit to them and get on there, whether it's weekly, monthly, get on there, because you're going to be surprised. I say, when you show up for an event, I feel like the universe smiles down and you're meant to be there. You're going to meet the people you were meant to see. They're going to answer those questions. It's going to all align. The stars will align. And so that's what we're about today, stars aligning. And we have three of, I would say, our strategic partners, collaborators, best gal pals who are amazing, powerful entrepreneurs and run just the most brilliant networking communities. So I want to allow each of them to introduce themselves, but I will quickly say we have Blaney Teal, who is doing Maryland Business Exchange, MBX, which I think you're renaming to International. She can speak to that. And upcoming next week, she has the amazing, Small Business Virtual Extravaganza. And it is the 23rd through the 25th. And we actually have posted that in our events. I'm encouraging everybody to attend, because that is actually where I met Carolyn. That is where I met so many people at that event that are going to be on here today. And then we have Carolyn Cooper-McQuatt, who has founded the Grand Connection Networking Group. She is based in Canada. She got the idea for the Grand Connection at the Grand Canyon. I want her to tell that story. And then we also have Colleen Biggs, who founded Lead Up for Women. She will be joining us in progress, but shortly. But I don't want to waste your time with me. I want these women to speak about their groups, the genesis of them. I'm going to invite each of you, Blaney, I'll let you start, to introduce yourself, talk about your group, the genesis, what is the special sauce about your group that people need to know, and why you love running a networking community, why you think it's so important.
All right. Well, thank you so much. My name is Blaney Teal, and I am from Baltimore, Maryland. And I started MBX back in 2017. And just so you know, I'm still seeing Jill on there in the speaker view. So I don't know if, I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I started back in 2017. I actually had gotten laid off from a 6-figure job. I had a consignment business and I was outgrowing that after 11 years and was looking for something else to do. And I have a knack. I started my first business at the age of 7. So people know that I love business and I love connecting people. So I started in 2017. And like Jill said, it was called Maryland Business Connection because we only hosted in-person events in Maryland. That was it. We held about 15 to 20 events every single month that I was running all by myself. So pretty much every weekday I would go out at 10 and I would get back at 2 and I'd run an in-person networking event. We went from 0 members to over 300 members in 3 years. And then COVID shut us down. All of our restaurants got shut down. So, you know, we're used to doing it in person, but I'm also, as you guys know, probably I'm the tech queen. So I was like, boom, we instantly switched to Zoom and started having our virtual events. So through that, it gave me time to figure out what am I going to do with MBX? And like you said, what is our secret sauce and where are we going to go with this? Because I started meeting great people like Carolyn, and I started meeting great people like Forbes Riley, and I started meeting great people around the world that are like, okay, you've got this secret sauce. You need to bring this to other areas. And so we decided to rebrand on May of this year, 2021. So that was our 4th anniversary. And we are now making business connections, but we kept MBX where the X stands for connections. So what really makes us a little bit different, one is now we're hybrid and in person. So I'm actually hiring area connectors. I no longer run all the events. I actually have people that run my events for me. We don't join a chapter, so we're not chapter based. We are area based, and you can come to whatever events you want, in person or virtual. And so I created something called the FUN method of networking. And so FUN is an acronym, and this is part of our community and our culture at MBX. So the F stands for Find Your Abundance Mindset. So I find so often people will come to an event and be like, oh, is there going to be another realtor there? Well, then I'm not coming. And I'm like, well, then you're not a good fit for us, because you may sit in the room of 35, 40 people, and there may be somebody that does exactly like what you do. But the thing is, you're not a one-stop shop, right? There's enough business for everybody. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So you need to embrace the abundance mindset. And in our organization, you never sit in the same room with the exact same people. So it's, 25 to 35 people, you might know 5 to 10 of them. The rest are new members or members that traveled or guests. So the U stands for understand others and help them solve problems. And again, so many people in networking come to a networking event to just show up, hand out their card, and hope they get a sale. And that's not what this is about. Why is it called Making Business Connections, right? Why is it called the Grand Connections, right? It is about those connections. So by showing up and saying, who can I connect somebody to, right? How can I give value to you? You're going to end up getting business. It just happens. And then, of course, the N stands for nurture your relationships and treat them like family. And this gives me chills, because I have people that have been with me during the entire pandemic that never canceled their membership because they loved the culture and the community, and they didn't want to lose that, and they wanted to keep that connection. So we treat people like a family. You don't walk into a room, it's not cold. We're very welcoming, and people just love that they feel welcomed, even if they've not been a member before, right? And people have been there for 4 years. It doesn't feel cliquey. So that's kind of our secret sauce. And now we are hybrid, which means we have 4 virtual events every single month. So we have 4 different types of virtuals every single month. Only one is a Zoom. The other is a one-to-one speed networking blitz, kind of like speed dating, right? The other one is a mingle that makes you feel like you're in a happy hour experience, and you walk around and talk to who you want, when you want, for as long as you want. And then we have a 1-hour monthly training followed by networking. And they're all on different platforms, because as we already heard, I'm the tech queen, and I want to give you guys variety so you don't get tired of the exact same experience week in and week out. And then we do 2 to 4 events. We are now in Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, and Toronto, Canada. So we are excited to have events all over the world, and they're just going to keep going, because doing partnerships like we're doing with Hey Taxi and Carolyn and all these wonderful folks just give us the opportunity to share our little twist on things. And I'm just so blessed to be a part, again, of this group and Carolyn's group. And I'm just, Jessica and I, we've done a million things together. It's just so fun to have those deep connections. So MBXevents.com. We invite you to come out to a virtual, because some of you guys aren't in those states yet, or help us start one. We're hiring. So if you want to make some money and run part of our organization, let me know. Be glad to help you start your own MBX in your area. So thanks, Jill.
Excellent. Blaney is a powerhouse, as are our other 2 speakers, but it's just great to join this with this the energy that we're getting. I'm going to I see that Colleen Biggs has joined us, but I wanted to have Carolyn Cooper-McQuatt do her intro. And for Colleen's sake, I'll repeat, and for those who joined in progress, I've asked each of our panelists to introduce themselves, talk about their specific networking group, what is the special sauce about that group that you need to know so you can determine what's a great fit for you, and then the power of networking, why you started a networking group.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. It's such a commitment on my part to serve the world through a networking organization. I mean, when I think about when I started my business and how alone I felt, and that really is the roots of the organization with the Grand Connection, because it is about those grand connections that we make that makes all the difference. And the support that we have. I mean, we partner with Colleen, Hey Taxi, with Blaney, and many other organizations around the world, because we know that alone we cannot accomplish what we can together. So with our organization, we call it the Grand Connection, and I'll just share with you the story of how that happened. It's really unique. I was I've been teaching business and training and emceeing and speaking for 35 years. And I was semi-retired, having a great, luxurious life and feeling that gap still. I still served and coached my clients and did a little bit of training, but nothing what I used to do. And Susan and I reconnected after about 12 years. I moved away and we taught business together for 15 years in Vancouver, but that was 25 years ago. We were working with a mutual client and she said, I'm in Sedona. I said, Sedona, that's on my vision board. She said, yeah. I said, well, I really want to go to the Grand Canyon. That's on my vision board too. And she said, well, you come down. And I made a decision within 4 hours to go down to Sedona. We hiked the Grand Canyon and we stood at the Grand Canyon for that very first time that takes your breath away on March 15th, 2020. And I cried actually, because it was so beautiful. And all I could think about was all these businesses that would be suffering, that would be alone, that would be lost, that would be looking for support and encouragement and how to navigate online. So we simply started the Grand Connection because we were at the Grand Canyon thinking about what can we do. So that's where the name came from. And that's where the vision started for us. And we got back, we started a group right away, and we were just going to serve. I mean, we were just going to give to the community, pay it forward. We started with 20 people. And now we've grown 18 months later to have businesses from all over the world. And over 100 businesses come to our events every 2 weeks. And we've learned along the way, we've made a lot of mistakes. We've been willing to surrender on how we can level this organization up and make it better each time. And our event last Friday was a virtual assistant event, and we had 30 countries there, 30. I mean, it inspired me so much. I said, how many? And I just kept adding them up. Serbia, Australia, the UK. I said, okay, people, I am living my dream right now. I mean, holy mackerel, this is good. So what we're about is just to bring you the resources. We really look for the best of the best speakers. We research all of them, and we've invited some extraordinary people that have a lot of wisdom in all different areas of business, from productivity to marketing to emotional intelligence to virtual assistants. Jessica was there, she spoke for us. So we really want to be able to have a community where wherever you are, you can level up to learn from the next experience or resources or knowledge that you need within your business, within our community. We're about really bringing the best of the best. And it's bringing expert speakers, but also that's one event we do a month. The other event we do 2 weeks later is our partner event, where Jessica just participated with us, and we bring in 3 partners. So Colleen's partnered with us, Jessica's partnered with us, and we want to bring other networking organizations around the world to bring their people to meet our people. And then the 3 of us can all network, connect, and find the links and be able to support each other, build relationship, and grow as a global community by partnering together, because we believe that we are a connector of connectors. There's no competition here, none, zero. Hello, we're here to help every business level up and build those meaningful relationships. So our events, we do a number of events each month. We have 2 large events. So it's always on a Friday between 11:30 and 1. And we call one The Show. We look at it as a TV show. That's our dream, is to have a TV show. So we do that event where we bring in 1 round of networking. An expert speaker will share for 20 minutes, questions and answers. And then we break out into a mastermind breakout room for 20 minutes that takes a deep dive into the knowledge that the expert speaker has shared. So that's one event. We usually have between about 88 to 130 people at each of those events each month. The second event we have is 2 weeks later on a Friday, same time, 11:31 Pacific Daylight Time. And that one we call, as I said, is our partner event. So that's a lot of networking. So you get 4 to 5 rounds of networking in small groups to meet each other and build those relationships. Our amazing partners share their areas of expertise on our 3 core values, which is connect, create, and collaborate. So it's a really fun event. It's got great energy, and we welcome you to come to that. It's also free. The other events we have is I lead a mastermind group twice a month. We have master classes for our members. Our membership is available. We have a directory online that a lot of people put their videos and connect and collaborate within our directory online hub. So honestly, we welcome you to come to the Grand Connection and check us out. It's grandconnection.ca. And we're really all in this together. You don't have to do this alone. And there's so many opportunities and potential that's available for you right now, right this second. Thanks, Jill.
That is awesome. And it's also true. And I think you guys are feeling this synergy and this collaboration and this love between even these 3 women, and how they are here to support each other as well as you. And it's just, the vibe is high. And that's why we're sharing them, because we love sharing people we love and respect and know, like, and trust, the whole package, and who can offer you so much more. When we talk about networking events, you're hearing them share that it's not just getting together on a virtual networking once a month. They offer training. They bring in their Rolodex of A-team trainers and collaborators. They have so much more, special events and conferences. So it's really exciting what they're offering. So I want, by the end of this, that each of you share also in the chat how we can find you online, upcoming events, calendars, etc. And we'll make sure and get that out to the group after the event as well. But with that, I would like to actually replace my spotlight and introduce Colleen Biggs and let you share your story and how Lead Up for Women came about.
Thanks, Jill. Sorry I was late. I was running a networking group in Lead Up for Women for one of my chapter directors who's on a plane today. So we have been launching chapters since May, and we plan on having 15 Lead Up for Women chapters by September of next year. Internationally, and as well as, in fact, we're going to be launching Toronto in the next couple months, also New Jersey and Philadelphia. So super excited about that. And, you know, right when you were talking, Carolyn, because I met you at the early stages when you had started Grand Connection, and I jumped in right away. And, you know, I built Lead Up for Women because I knew from coaching for 22 years that every company I worked with that I helped launch, there was not such a thing as I will build it and they will come. It doesn't happen. So some people think, oh, as an entrepreneur, if I just get my website built, then I'm just going to have all these customers. They're going to buy all these products from me. And that's not the way it works. I knew that they needed to tell everyone about them. They needed to have a community. They needed to connect in the community. They needed to be seen everywhere, heard everywhere. How could they be visible? So as I was coming out of the closet to become an entrepreneur and hang out in this $1 million playground y'all are in, I was like, I need to build a community. I need to get into communities, build a community of support. And I wanted to build a community that was full of nice girls and not mean girls. I wanted to build a community that was full of women that connected and collaborated and did not compete with each other, because there is no such thing as competing when you are so unique in what you do. There's not another women's organization like Lead Up for Women because I'm at the head. There's not another Grand Connections because Carolyn and Susan are at the head. Or DM, is it DM? Wait, I always say that wrong. I almost say that wrong, Blaney, sorry. There's no other organization like Blaney's because she's Blaney, right? Jessica's Jessica, Christina's Christina, same with Jill and Dawn and Hey Taxi, and same with Carla. We are unique in our own right. So as you were talking, Carolyn, I remembered getting a quote out of a book, and I literally grabbed my book, opened it, to this page. And I want to just share something with you that I felt really impressed to share. If you long for more support, support others. If you long for more appreciation, appreciate others. If you long for more love and acceptance, love and accept others. If you long for more recognition, recognize others. If you long for more celebration, celebrate others. And if you long for more understanding, understand others, which means we need to go first. It means that we need to move mountains. We need to do by example so that other women will do the same. And when you show that collaborating and connecting and networking works to support your business, others will follow. And Margaret Mead said, which is perfect for today, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. It's the only thing that ever has. I mean, I think of Martin Luther King Jr., right? He had no internet, no anything. And he said, I have a dream. And then before you know it, tens and thousands of people are on the same dream that he has. It just starts with a seed. Like Carolyn said, she stood there and was like, how do I really feel like there's this gap. How can I connect people? I want to get connected with people. How do I get connected with people, right? And that's why I join up with all these other networking groups, because networking is just a piece of Lead Up for Women. But that's why I built it. I built it because we do need a tribe, a community of strong women, and not just one tribe. You need several different tribes. That's why I'm in Blaney's tribe, Carolyn's tribe, Jill's tribe, Dawn's tribe. I'm in everyone's tribes. And on my newsletters, you'll see their events because I'm promoting them in my organization, because it's not about locking people in your organization. It's about helping them expand their influence to attract the right client in all organizations. And so you just never know who you're going to meet. So we run events pretty much every day, but every Tuesday we run a workshop that our members teach. It's like a Teaching Tuesday masterclass. So it's a great place to come and network and to learn something for a total hour. And then right now, 3 times a month, we do networking events. We do a book club every Wednesday that helps with personal growth. Jill was in the book club, and we're working on The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, because I know for a fact, and when we master ourselves, then we're able to master business. And what a beautiful thing as women sitting here in this room, that we have the confidence to open up another door for a female and not be worried if we allow her to walk through first, right? Because it's not about that competition. It's about knowing that here's a connection for you. Here's someone I can introduce you to. How can I assist you and serve you first? Because it always comes back tenfold, right? Karma is karma. It's karma if it's bad. It's karma if it's good. So whatever you're throwing out, expect to get back. So that is why I built Lead Up for Women. We've got tens and thousands of women in our community. We network regularly on a regular basis. We have chapters that network every single month. And like I said, we're still building those. So if you're interested in learning how you can be a chapter director and founder of your area for Lead Up for Women, let me know. Because just like Blaney's MBX, I got it right this time, MBX, you too. I mean, this is about you getting the right people in front of you and you being the leader of that group. So, I mean, it's a perfect win-win for you, because there's a ton of commissions involved in that as well, right? And we always want to share the love, share the money, share the spotlight, share the fame with everyone that we can. So thank you so much, Jill. It's a total honor to be here with these powerhouse ladies. Are you kidding me?
Okay, wonderful. Well, I actually, because we started in the opposite order, I was going to actually still have Colleen speak and sort of speak to, you sort of have touched upon this, the power of women connecting and networking with other women. We love our men, but women supporting women, that unique power and that unique formula, as well as sharing a really inspiring success story from one of your members.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So thank you for that. Obviously my communities lead up for women, and I don't have any men in my community because I know when men are in the room, it changes the conversation. And I have worked with a lot of men in the last 20 years, as I've been coaching, and I've chosen to work with women for one purpose, because women really need, it was interesting. My husband and I were watching a show the other day, and when someone was upset, 3 women hugged her. And my husband said, women are so compassionate, aren't they? And I said, we are. And we love other people. And when someone's hurting, we hurt with them. When someone's winning, we win with them. We celebrate with them. We're their biggest cheerleaders. And when someone's got to go pee, we go to the bathroom with them. Like, that's just what we do, right? I said, but women are so supportive of other women. And the problem I have found is that several women struggle with their worth of building large, high generating revenue businesses. Now, I'm not going to say all, just a high percentage of female entrepreneurs seem to struggle in that area. So when I started working with women only, I could better create tools that were just for women. I could better navigate if I was working with just females versus males, because we have such a sense of nurturing and having people skills and communication skills. And the know, like, and trust factor with us is so easy that's like our secret weapon as females, is when we connect with other people just from that likability factor of being just our real selves, that alone really helps our businesses skyrocket. And I don't necessarily feel that men have that side. Like, men are, they're winners because they're providers, and it's been inbred in them for centuries and decades and, forever. And women are nurturers. And when you nurture a client, when you nurture a contact, when you do, I see networking and women helping other women, like today, right? When you couldn't even get your technology working, everyone was jumping in to help you out. And, it's just who we are. And that is why I want to help women change the landscape of what women look like in business forever. I don't want them fighting over 1 or 2 spots or worrying about, the next female that's starting a business. I want them to help that female start a business and not be afraid to ask. So the only way we can change the landscape of females in business, have more women in Fortune 500 companies and more seats, to have more female entrepreneurs that we have today, contributing to global economics, is really going to be by us supporting other women and paving the path and being the pioneers for that. That doesn't mean it's going to change in my lifetime, because whoever, going back centuries ago when they started rights for women to vote, it took hundreds of years for that to happen. So I just want to get the ball rolling for others behind me to be able to continue that. And along this way, I've met so many other women that are really heeding the call that they're getting for leadership right now. And I feel like that is what we're being called to do, is be the leaders that we need to be, not only in our communities and in our families, but also in business and for other women.
Excellent. Carolyn, do you want to share your perspective on that?
I do. I just love everything that Colleen said. Colleen, you and I are just like these 2 dolphins swimming or something, or eagles or whatever. I don't know, or doves, who knows? But, as women, I just think that we have to be around other women because we know each other. We naturally know each other. And I also think that when you can create a safe place that is, a sacred, safe place that people can speak their truth, is when mountains are moved and miracles happen. And because we understand women as women, because we are a woman, there is this extraordinary level of compassion, but there's also this incredible level of intuitive understanding, because maybe I'm at a different place than where Blaney is or Colleen is, and I've experienced that. And that, my confidence or understanding can help each other. So it's a personal evolution journey that we can support each other as well as professional. So there's those two different levels. And I just think there's a whole bunch of love that goes on, and we can, like, Jill, you just did it in this event. Like, you're talking about love. Oh my God, that's good, girl. That's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about supporting and loving each other and supporting each other to level up to the next level. And yes, you can, and encourage each other and be, okay, I can do this. I can't do this on other events. But in high school, I was, oh, where's the other one? Here it is. I was the captain of my cheerleading team. Okay. So you wonder why I'm so enthusiastic. So we can celebrate together. We can share our wins, and we can go, yes, 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 you can, YMCA or whatever. But, you know, it's really about that and having fun. I mean, this is a bit outrageous, but isn't it great? Yes, it is. Thank goodness.
And Carolyn, did you have a specific member who had a specific way? Is there something you want to share about how when networking goes right, like the results you can see?
Oh my God. Well, when networking goes right, I can feel the energy shift. You know, to me, energy is absolutely everything. And that when you feel that connection and that support or solution or answer or specific next step has landed, and you know that person has received that, and they have their aha moment, or they have their, oh, that's exactly what I could do in this situation. I've been struggling with this for months or years. And the answer is served and given. To me, that's the juice. Like, I love witnessing or experiencing that kind of deep level of support. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I think that's what happens in each one of our communities. I think Blaney's community has an extraordinary connection between all her people. There's a reason that they've been with her for year after year after year, because they are receiving, you know, all these different levels, from personal development to professional development. I mean, Blaney's the absolute wizard goddess woman when it comes to technology. I mean, she makes everything look easy and simple. To me, it's like, oh, it's not my area of expertise, but she's helped us at the Grand Connection so much. So it's, you know, it's creating more freedom, I think, for us, but also, you know, conviction and confidence and just fueling that spirit and you know, fanning that flame of passion to keep moving forward and building the momentum. And you know, to me, I absolutely love it. I do.
I think it's amazing, because I think women in general do this in their lives. Like, you find a friend who's like, well, I need a new pet sitter. And then 2 days later, you're like, oh my gosh, I met this pet sitter at Safeway. And it's like, ding. It's like, and that's a very general idea, but like the idea of finding people that need each other and helping them. But it goes to another level when you deal with your members, and we deal with our members. You're like, wait a minute. I have somebody in my membership that is doing exactly what you are looking for, or vice versa. And it's a high, right? And we aren't, I mean, we open a Rolodex. We love to connect people. We are not a networking community per se, but it is, you get a little chill when you know that you've hit the stars have aligned, right? For someone else. Blaney, I want to hand it over to you, and you talk about that vision of the power of women, helping women, and maybe some of your success stories with your members, which I'm one, because I attended one of your events, and I met Carolyn, I met Jessica. If you go through my list of who I met at the last small business virtual extravaganza, like, it was on fire.
And, you know, that's what I really love. Like, sometimes you go to events like the SBVE and you might not make sales on the spot. But I think about it in the organic way when we used to go to expos, right? And you sit at a table and you have a vending table and you have people on your left and people on your right and people across the aisle. And there might not be a lot of attendees there. So you end up going and talking to the people to the left and people to the right, and you end up making great connections. And they typically become your best customers or, you know, partners or whatever it might be. And that is, I look at all the people that are in Hey Taxi that were on the Small Business Virtual Extravaganza. I look through the list of the members. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you met Jill there, because because they were working it. They were our sponsor, but more importantly, it's about connections, right? And they know if they nurture, we talked about the N, nurturing those connections, that eventually the business will come, right? And so for me, MBX is not a women-owned group. We have men in there. However, we are having a shift. I will say in-person events are definitely more male-driven unless it's a female-oriented like a lead up where it's just for women. In my area, at least, there's a lot of men that do networking. It's the good old boys club. And I can say that in here because it's all women. But I get sick of the good old boys club. I'm one of the only women that run a networking group that is not male. And so when I'm hiring my area connectors, and I hire some that are men and some that are women, I notice the women certainly have a different level of passion. They're more organized, they can multitask, and they certainly get it faster. The guys are struggling, not only with the tech, but with the multitasking. So, again, I think it's great. And so somebody had said to me way back, and again, this is a safe space because it's all women in here, but there were some people in my group that were turning off the women. And they were, and I was talking to one of my mentors, and they're like, MBX needs to be a safe and happy place for women to network. And so I need to create that by attracting the right leaders who are going to align with me and understand. And because of that, we are attracting more women now. I think we just had 7 members join last week. I think it was 5 women, 2 men. So there's a huge shift. And I love that. No, we're never going to be a female only. I can't do that to the people that have been with me forever. But I also understand, like you said, the needs of the women are different. So we're going to serve them. They may not like my fun method of networking, right? They may not like my energy because they're just good old boys. But you know what? Then it's not for them. They can leave. There's a zillion other chambers and BNIs and all the other groups that they can go be their male self with. And so for me, that's when really, really matters. And talking about success, again, not even just my members, but like when I put on events, the connections that are made, I had recently, we just launched into the Frederick area, Eldersburg area I think it was Frederick last week. And we've never hosted events there. We had 19 people in attendance. 3 people signed up on the spot, but I always do one-to-one connection calls after a new member comes in because I'm not going to know everybody as we grow. Well, Tiffany said to me, she goes, you know what? I got so much out of that one event, just with the people, the members, the connections that I made. She's like, I am so excited. She was like, it was a no-brainer, right? Because she just felt the energy that we brought to the table. And so she joined. But I have another success story for people that go back to that mentality of the narrow mentality, right? Or the exclusive mentality. I had a gentleman, actually, this was a guy, and he was in my in-person event, and he sat down and he had been to something before. And I asked him what he thought about MBX. And he's like, I think you're too small. Like your businesses are too small. I need bigger CEOs, higher C-suite level people. And I said, not a problem. He said, however, he happened to sit next to a guy and he was looking for a new job. So he gave the guy his resume and he's like, I'm looking to meet this person. And the guy literally said, that's my best friend. So the person he was looking to meet is the guy's best friend to get this job. And so of course he did. He landed the job and he joined MBX anyway, just because that one sitting next to someone, even though he was small-minded and didn't think our group was a good fit, he got an amazing connection and got his dream job because that guy was his best friend. Like, how amazing is that? So that's what connections are all about. It's not who you know, it's all the different levels of connections that you could. I tell people, the 18, 19 people in the room, you may not get any business out of them, but they know people. And it's those people that you're going to connect with. And like I'll toot your horn. Jessica's always introducing me. I don't have time to do all those wonderful interviews she does. I'm too freaking busy, but she does these amazing interviews and she's always sending me referrals. And I love that we're able to feed back to each other because it's about who do you know? And she's building those relationships and she can send them my way so that I can start our relationships. And yeah, I just absolutely love seeing the members who say, oh my gosh, I just got a piece of business. I just got this business. And we hear it every time because we do what are called shout outs at the end of our event where they can get up and say, thank you, Carolyn, for introducing me to so-and-so, or thank you for giving me that referral. And we do shout outs. And, it's not about them. They're shouting out to somebody else and spotlighting somebody else. So I love to hear when there is a success story like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what makes this all tick just perfect.
I love it. I love it. And Colleen, I think I was muted, but I was going to comment on when you talked about Dr. King and I Have a Dream and how that sort of went viral without the internet. And I started thinking, how many of us have a dream? What if he had just said, I have a dream to himself in the shower every morning, or thought it in as he went to bed, or even said it to himself in the mirror. It's great to have a mantra, but the fact is he said it out loud and he said it to other people. And so I want to segue with that thought to saying, Blaney, what would be your 2 or 3 top networking tips when you show up on a virtual event? I'm going to go virtual right now because we're still in this mode. But, you know, I have a product, I have a service, I need a VA, I need whatever it is. You have a want going in there, but it ain't going to happen if you don't speak up, right? So how do you tell people to show up and shine?
So first of all, appearance, and I'm going to tell you a quick story because recently we did a very awesome Zoom and the guy didn't have his flipping shirt on. Now this guy does commercial real estate, high value, $1 million. I know you're laughing, Colleen. I know. I'm literally texting my folks going, does he not have a shirt on?
I am showing up with no shirt on next time just to see what happens.
It was so bad.
I'm going to charge if you do that, Colleen.
It was, but here's the thing. He's trying to get $1 million commercial referrals and he can't even stop to put, I mean, we were like, the reason I knew is we asked a question, he raised his hand, you could see under his arm. That's how we figured out there was no shirt on. So, because we were like texting, it doesn't look like he's a shirt on. But anyway, and he was a first timer and he doesn't do a lot of Zooms. He's an in-person good old boy. But my goodness, like, first of all, dress to impress. Like all of us on here look beautiful. All of us have nice backdrops. Like just take, first of all, when you're going virtual, first impressions still matter. And, you know, I've seen people laying in bed. I've seen people without their teeth on. Like, seriously, I've seen, oh my gosh, yes, I have seen some horrendous stuff. So again, do you want to do business with, I know you're laughing, Carolyn, but it's serious. Like, do you want to do business with somebody who can't take the time to put their teeth in? Like, seriously. So that's number one tip is really do make your best impressions. Now, I'll be honest with you, when COVID first started, I used to literally wear a dress and heels to my Zooms because I wanted to feel that powerful energy. I will have to say now it's yoga pants, bare feet, and a cute top. But I never thought it would be 18 months later, right? So again, but I always have my makeup on. My hair might be up or down, but take the time to look like somebody that you want to do business with, right? I had another guy, his backdrop was his office. That was a hot mess. I'm talking papers everywhere. It looked like a tornado went through. And I'm like, is that somebody that I want to do business with who can't even keep a nice back desk? No, look at all of us. I mean, whether it's a green screen or your real backdrop, I mean, we don't have hot messes behind us. Because again, what if we're his client? He could end up losing us in the hot mess desk behind him. So that's number one. And then number two, I truly, truly believe in the abundance mindset. I feel so sad when people say, I'm not coming because I want to be the only one. And then the sad part is the other one doesn't show up and now they miss an opportunity to meet 35 people. And I tell the story all the time. You know, it's okay because you're going to sit with a different group. You're not going to sit at the same table with that person. Virtually, same thing. It's okay. We're all on here together and everybody has their little niches, little different personalities, different ages, whatever, right? So it's okay if we do the same thing. And again, collaborations, oh my gosh, like I know people that do tech and they give me business because they don't want to do this hands-on that I do, but you know, I give them the bigger clients because I don't want to do the giant jobs. So it's amazing. So, you know, just when you're especially virtually networking, look great, you know, go there with the abundance mindset. You are going to see people that do what you do. Don't get intimidated, be in your power, right? Be in your superpower and just know that you, like I think Colleen said it, we're all unique. And we all have different skills. And some people don't like me because I talk too fast, right? Or I use my hands a lot. But you know what? I've tried to talk slow and I sound very robotic and I sound very fake and it's not who I am. I recorded it one time and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, no way am I going to talk like that. It's just not, I'm going to be me. So yeah, and just have fun networking, you know, while you're out there, do pay attention. I can't stand, I mean, my daughter, I have been checking my texts because my daughter is in school and stuff like that. But I try to be really, you know, just be present in the moment, take notes. And I'll tell you one last thing that I can't stand. And I see this a lot on virtual is the minute somebody gets into your virtual group, they drop all their stuff in the chat before being asked. Or yeah, they just drop it in there. First of all, I don't think they know that if more people come in, they don't see their stuff, right? So if they get in there and I tell my group, I'm like, don't do it until we do our 30-second virtuals, because if somebody comes in later, they're not going to get your info. So they're like, oh, really? I'm like, but it's me. They're like spam, 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 spam. And again, it sets the tone. So after you do your 30 seconds, then drop in your information because then it's like relevant. It's not lost up in the chat somewhere, right? Because if you save that chat, you all know it's a hot mess. Like the text is really ugly. So yeah, so just pay attention, take notes. And my goal would be, I tell my people, find 3 people on the Zoom call or whatever it is that you don't know, just 3. Don't try to meet with all 40 people. Find 3 people every single time and give meaning and do a nice 30-second or 30-minute conversation. If you do that 3 intentional connections at every event, you're going to have more connections, prospects, leads, partners than you ever could dream.
I love the focusing on 3 because it can be overwhelming, right? You feel like, you want to have the success. And sometimes when you do too much, it's quality versus quantity, right? Definitely.
Yep.
Carolyn, what would be your 2 to 3 top tips for people being successful in their virtual networking?
Well, I agree with everything that Blaney said, absolutely every single thing that she said. And I would add that energy is everything. I would add that, take time to be ready for these events, pre-plan what you want to say, what you'd like to share, your unique position in how you serve the world, connect to that core message that you want to share so people can connect with that. Because energy is everything. And we tend to be attracted to like-minded energy. So I love Blaney's energy because I used to talk as fast as she does. And I have actually dialed it back a little bit in my wise years of wisdom. Yet I think people engage and connect with the energy, the vibe, the message, but also your intention. What is your intention of going to this event? Blaney shared 3 people, but what else did you want to receive? What are you looking for? Do you need help with your technical software? Are you looking for help with your administrative support? Are you looking to gain new clients? Or are you looking to build partnerships so you can do a summit, so you can do a webinar, so you can do a challenge together with someone else? So think of what your clear intention is. And to really let go of the sales pitch bit. It doesn't work, and don't have the recording playing over and over and over again. The people get in the breakout room and they just do this. Oh no, I know exactly what she's going to say every second. So have something that you're connected to, purposeful and passionate about, and share that. And just know that looking in the camera helps. I see people talk like this, or talk over here like this, or their heads over here, or their heads way down here. Set the intention that your energy is going to go through that camera and connect with people, because that's what it's about. It's about connection. And you know what? Okay, I could talk forever, but I'll just say one more thing. And that is, be curious. Have this really deep sense of wonder about every breakout room you're doing in the bigger groups with Blaney's group and Colleen's group. Just say, oh, I like this person. Getting a good vibe on that. I think we have shared values here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I like what they're saying. Okay, I'm absolutely this person. Yes, I'm going to follow up with them. I'm going to write their name down. I'm going to connect with them in the chat saying, hey, love what you had to say. Let's have a Zoom meeting, but do it. The follow-up is the fortune. That's my dog, pardon me. But the follow-up is Tucker. The follow-up is the fortune, but it's also the freedom. Because when you build these solid relationships and trust that intuition, if it's there, it's there for a reason, and go for it. Follow up. Okay, that's mine.
Excellent. Now, Colleen, bring it home.
Man, there's some good stuff there. I'm not even sure what to add to that. My gosh, you guys, that was amazing. Blaney, you're killing me. There's no way someone showed up without a shirt on. That is just the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. So I think I would have had a hard time getting through that one. But I think you guys covered most of it. When you were talking about the follow-up and the follow-through, that is so key. I always mention to people like to talk about themselves, right? They want to know what's in it for me, and they like to be remembered. So write down something that someone said or did, or they were wearing, or something in their background. And when you email them and follow up with them, say, girl, those red glasses were the freaking shiz. I love them. You look awesome. I love how you stand out. And then they're like, oh, wow, thank you so much. Now they're perking up to listen because you said something that you remembered about them. Remember, people want to know that they're liked, trusted, that you know, they want to belong, right? So write down things that impressed you. And I love that Carolyn also mentioned, you know, and same with Blaney about, you know, just pick 3 people. I never understand why people throw a bunch of garbage in the chat. It would be the same as walking into a live networking event, throwing your business cards across the room and being like, call me, and then walking out. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So why would you do that? You know, when you're speaking and someone says, hey, go ahead and introduce yourself, then you're done speaking. That's the time to drop your information in the chat, right? It doesn't make sense to just keep spamming people over and over again. And the other thing is use your time wisely. I never understand when people show up, why they don't DM someone that maybe they see someone in there that they've seen before and they're like, oh my gosh, hey, Carolyn, I saw you before in that last event. How are you doing? I got your email. I'm going to send you 3 other referral, whatever it might be, right? So how can you connect with people in the main room and not wait until you go into a breakout room, but use your time wisely, right? You're not there just to wait until you go into a breakout room to connect with people. There's usually people in the main room I want to connect with, and that might be the only place I wind up connecting with people because I get into breakout rooms and there's not much of anyone at that point that I want to connect with, right? I love talking about the agenda when you brought that up of, you know, what is it that you really need? Ask for it. Go there with an intention and an agenda. And I think the last piece for me is your secret sauce is you. And that energy that you bring to that room is what people remember you by. So being authentic, being yourself, bringing the high energy, you know, being excited about what you do when people are like, hi, and they're talking, you're like, are they even excited about what they're doing? Do they even like what they're doing? So bring the energy. I mean, show up as yourself. Be excited about what you do for people. Be excited about what you offer. And I love that Carolyn also mentioned, like, don't be afraid to ask for what it is that you need. You're in this group of all these people. That's where I've gotten some of the best software ideas. That's where I've gotten so many ideas from people that have helped me advance in my business, which is then it helped so many other women advance in theirs, right? So don't be afraid to ask for help on certain things because it doesn't show that you're weak. It shows that you want to collaborate with other people. So again, come with that strength, you know, like Blaney and Carolyn talked about of who you are. That is what sets you apart. That's your secret sauce.
I love it. I love it. We are coming up at the top of the hour, and I always try and manage to our time, respect all of you busy ladies and your schedules, because I know these networkers got networking to do, don't you? You have something next and next and next. But I really hope that everybody who is here live, everybody who will watch this recording, you can actually find Colleen, Blaney, and Carolyn via the Facebook community of Hey Taxi. But I will also, for our members, be sending out an email just as a follow-up for their upcoming events that some of them they've invited some of our members to upcoming, you know, there are links for their websites, just additional information. And I would say this, if these women got you on fire and you have one that's a favorite, or if you love all 3, whatever it is, I would say check out their groups, because everybody should be in at least one networking group and really showing up, like they said, showing up, sharing your dream, sharing your why, asking your ask, because that's when the magic happens. That's when the magic happens. And you can get a feel from this discussion that this is a very welcoming, all of them, communities, welcoming communities. They're supportive. There's no ask that's too big. You know, no, I don't know. I just think you can show up as yourself, ask what you want, and you'll see the sky open, and it'll be kind of amazing. The more you show up and put out your energy, and you find groups of women, especially, that also have that kind of energy, what do they call it? Raising the vibration, things start happening, magic happens. And I have to say, I think when I was I'm thinking about my notes, when I met Carolyn, and I think I either put a star or a heart next to her, because like, oh my gosh, Jessica actually gave me some feedback on our Facebook groups, intro questions. Remember? And I was like, oh my gosh, smart cookie. I think I wrote smart cookie. And I was like, put notes, and I was like, it was just so memorable that I have to follow up. These are women that speak to me, and I'm going to link up with them. And, I just remember those specifically. And I love Colleen. I love Blaney. I'm just saying, you are going to find so much power in having them now in your network. So make the most of it, ladies. And I thank all of our panelists for your time today. And I think this is so much value, so delightful. And we also have another event coming up on the 23rd where we talk about the fortune in the follow-up. And we give you some actionable, tactical ways to make your follow-up shine. And that's a part that a lot of people fall through on. They write the heart next to the name, and then they turn the page. And you go to the next event and the next event. So the fortune is in the follow-up, ladies, and that's our next segment. So thank you all. Thank you all so much. It was a pleasure. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
That was really
Thank
fun.
you.
I loved it.
So fun.
I love engaging with all the energy. Thank you for the opportunity too, Jill.
I love seeing Tucker.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
He has my vibe.